Yeah, one a week means one a month. You know the drill by now. Alright, where are we? Hospitals. So last time we were in the hospital, and now we're going to talk about getting discharged from the hospital to sweet, sweet freedom. I ran through the surgery, the hospital stay in the last video, so now we're going to talk about the process of getting discharged and coming home with the tube. It's like bringing home a new baby, only a lot less exciting for your parents. And less crying. Sometimes. While you're in the hospital, you will meet with several different people. One, someone from your surgical team. They'll give you your basic discharge information, caring for the site, instructions on exercise. They'll schedule you for a follow-up, basic stuff. You will also meet with your nutritionist. This is the hospital nutritionist, who will be different from the nutritionist who takes care of your formula after you leave the hospital. They'll decide the type of formula, the rate, the method of feeding, bolus, continuous, etc. You'll have a follow-up with them at the same time you have a follow-up with your surgeon, most likely 2 weeks later. After that, your nutrition will be handled by your home care company, which brings me to number 3, the social work nurse. This is the person who will explain everything and walk you through all the other complicated logistics. So you're going to need your home infusion company, who will set you up with your feeding pump, your IV pole, your formula, your bags, all that equipment. And then there is your home nurse care company, who will actually send out a physical nurse to you, and she will check on you a couple of times a week for the next few weeks, depending on what is prescribed for you. And they'll just make sure that your stoma's looking all right, that your vitals are okay. They'll make sure that you know how to use your pump and that everything's running okay. So the social worker nurse will make sure that you're set up with both of these companies, whether they be the same company or 2 different ones. And they'll also make sure that they are both set to arrive the same day you're discharged. So if they can't get those companies to come out to your house, you won't be discharged that day. Sometimes you'll also meet with a rep from home care. I personally, honestly, I can't remember if I met with someone from my home care company or not. It's very fuzzy. So I just want to reiterate what I said in my last video. If you can have someone with you at this point to help navigate all this stuff with you, like a spouse or a parent, I can't recommend that enough. It'll make your life so much easier. If you don't have anyone to help you, especially with handling the bills and unexpected expenses, I would recommend taking advantage of the hospital resources and ask to speak to a social worker, because they can alert you to any government or community programs that might be able to help you. And just to get on my soapbox for a second, there is absolutely no shame in taking part of any of these programs if you really need them. That's what they're there for, and everyone needs a helping hand every once in a while. So when you get home, your home care company will arrive with all the equipment you need. For me, that was an IV pole, bags, formula, syringes, pads, and a kangaroo joey pump. Shortly after that, a home care nurse came and showed me how to use all the equipment, how to care for the site. She came to see me 3 times a week for the next few weeks to make sure that the stoma was doing all right, everything was healing okay, that I was doing physically okay, and that I was using all my equipment properly. Real talk, the first few weeks after the tube were, for me, really rough. It was very hard to tolerate the formula at first. I had horrible acid reflux. I had trouble sleeping because the surgical sites made it uncomfortable, and I was nauseous, I was bloated. It was rough, but my system did adjust, and I found a rate that I could tolerate. All the nurses told me that the difference in rate was so negligible that it couldn't make a difference. Yeah, obviously these people don't have gastroparesis. A couple milligrams makes a big difference. For me, rate was the game changer. When I decided to go slow and steady with my heart rate and bump it up 1 milliliter at a time when I felt comfortable, I had a significant improvement. I no longer see any of my home nurses. I haven't needed to. I can always call them and undischarge myself, I guess, if I need to. But I still work with my home infusion company regularly, because they're the ones who send me refills for my formula, my bags, my syringes, what have you. I was also set up with a dietitian at the home infusion company to handle all my nutrition needs if I need to change the formula, for example, since you don't use the hospital nutritionist after your 2-week follow-up. And they also have a pharmacist on staff who answers questions about what is and what isn't safe to put through the tube. So next time, we'll have a little show and tell, and I'll show you how to hook up the tube. In the meantime, I'm sending spoons and love. Take care.